Today, we are starting a new chapter on the Patreon videos. We are looking at some advanced bow techniques. Woo! This might be, best suited for people who are already comfortable playing with a bow. But fear not, if you're not there yet, you can always circle back and hit these when you feel more comfortable. So today I really wanted to look at this sweet bowing technique that a bunch of different string players use. Mostly, fiddle players, cello players, and it's called shuffle bowing. And just wanted to break down the concept and how it can apply on the bass. So shuffle bowing is, I've heard someone talk about it like it's almost like the guitar method on a string instrument. It has this strummy kind of quality to it. And the reason it has that is because every eighth note in the measure is being played back and forth on the bass. So, pretty much your beats 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on downstrokes, and all the upstrokes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and are up bows. So you have this kind of constant eighth note motion going on, which is similar to a guitar player, especially guitar players who would play like Irish music or something like that. There's a really consistent back and forth for eighth notes, and a lot of bluegrass players do that as well. So the first thing to think about is getting that eighth note motion under the bow on the bass. That motion is so small that I'm not thinking about it so much as being from the shoulder. Like other things we've talked about with the bow, you want to think about the shoulder being the fulcrum, on long tones, going back and forth with the shoulder. But then as the motion gets smaller and smaller, you want to think about it in a smaller and smaller way. So what I'm thinking about is more the fingers moving back and forth, and everything else is staying pretty sturdy. Check it out. Maybe on some of those bigger strokes, I'm doing a little bit of a motion from the elbow or something like that, but for the most part, it's really coming from the fingers. And that's the first thing you want to think about when you're playing, Maybe even take the bow off the string and just try wiggling your fingers back and forth just to get that motion going. And then put it down. I'd recommend maybe trying your pinky on the G on the D string. And you can obviously make sure that's the right pitch, checking it with the open G string. I find shuffle bowing is more effective with closed notes than open notes. Arco playing in general, I really like playing closed notes for the most part. So put that pinky down and then just try going back and forth in this kind of motion. Don't worry about accenting anything quite yet. Just go back and forth and try to get an even eighth note sound. Every eighth note kind of gets the same volume and attack. So spend some time doing that, before you get into any sort of accents. And then when you feel comfortable, you can start, applying some more pressure on places you want to have more of a stress, and even taking away pressure on places where you want it to be more of a ghost sound. Let's say I wanted to accent all the downbeats. For instance, I might give a bit more pressure to my downstrokes and let the upstrokes be a little lighter. Let's say I want to go the other way. Upstrokes and downstrokes are going to be more ghosty. It'll sound like this. So that's the general idea of what shuffle bowing is. But I think for most of you, I'd really recommend just sticking with the eighth note pattern with that G note on the D string, and just focus on getting it even and in time. Put a metronome on at whatever click you feel comfortable. And don't worry about stressing or accenting anything quite yet. The exercise video this month will have maybe 3 or 4 different patterns you can work on. Maybe by then you'll feel comfortable to try them out. But for now, just try to get the actual, foundational technique under your fingers, and don't worry about stressing anything. But that's pretty much how shuffle bowing works. And then it's kind of there's an endless amount of accents and grooves you can make with it. Let's say I wanted to go something like dun 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 dun. You can go there. You can do like a halftime thing. Yeah. Endless world of possibilities, and super fun thing to do on the bass. Definitely gets you out of the root fifth bass line world and into something that it's a bit more string-like. So just work on those even eighth notes this week, folks. Get them under your fingers, and we'll work out a bass line next week, and then after that we'll be talking about some different patterns that you can utilize with shuffle bowing. Have a good week, y'all. See you soon.